Welcome everybody to another episode of the SneakyVerse podcast. I have a special guest for you guys today. I'm gonna let her go ahead and introduce herself because she'll do it better than I can. Go ahead. All right.
What's up, SneakyVerse? It's your girl TBarb in the building. Comedian, content creator, actress, philanthropist, etc., etc. And also one of the key members of the
Oh
SneakyVerse.
yeah, one of the key members, the Cougar edition. But
I call it the auntie edition.
yeah, Auntie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
she
not
like
quite
the
cougar,
Auntie.
but I'm definitely in auntie
But
range
the
for
Cougar
sure.
videos that we made slapped,
They
so
do
I
slap.
don't
Okay,
call
I'm
it
cool with
Cougar.
auntie.
Nigga.
Whatever y'all
I
like.
don't call it Cougar. Tell us a little bit about yourself, so the people who don't know you.
Okay. Well, I am a comedian out of Detroit, Michigan. I've been doing comedy about 10 years now. I also do some acting. I'll be on the new season of Comic View Rooftop
Mm,
series. I'm very excited about that. Also,
can't
Nate
wait.
Jackson's super
Super
funny.
funny.
Yeah, I have my own podcast called Not What I Ordered. And I'm just a funny person. I'm getting into acting a little bit more. Have a few projects on Tubi. I'm just an all around funny person and content creator, but I'm mainly a
Stand up
Stand
comedian.
up
You got to
comedian. Yeah.
differentiate the two.
Yes.
How did you start? Like, what was the boiling point to where you were like, okay, man, fuck this. I got to get into comedy. What am I going to do and how am I going to do it? What were you thinking when you dove into the comedy realm?
So it kind of happened on a whim. It wasn't like I was thinking I want to be a comedian. What happened was I made a bucket list,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and comedy was on there. One of my coworkers at the time, I was working for the state of Michigan in social work, and one of my coworkers was doing comedy shows on the side. So she had invited me. She said, "Oh, you want to do it?" I'm thinking she invited me because she believed in me. No, she invited me because she know I'm gonna bring some people
Oh
because
yeah,
all new
right.
comedians bring people, right?
Exactly.
So I brought like 20 people. But I did it. I really loved it. And I was like a light bulb went off, like ding, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I put a plan in motion immediately, like to quit my job and be able to pursue it. So that's kind of what happened.
That's good. I'm used to cooking T-Barb, so I'm trying to stay professional, guys. So yeah.
It's okay. You know, we can take it and we dish it out too.
It's funny. The first time I seen Barb, I seen Barb before, but the first time I actually like seen her comedy was at the Punchline, and I normally try to be incognito. I sit near the front of the stage and whatnot. And she was doing a joke. She was doing like one of those I think like a sneaky link joke, and then she was, saying the joke, and then she was like sneaky verse. And then she kept going with her joke, and I was like, I didn't know this nigga knew who I was. What the fuck is going on? So ever since then, I started going to her shows and stuff, and that's how we got accommodated and became good friends. So, um, and then she also put me on one of her shows, which was great too.
Yeah.
But
And you
yeah,
surprised me by having a twin. Because even though people who really were a part of the Sneaky Verse knew that, a lot of people still didn't. So even when I posted like a picture with you and
yeah,
your
and they still
twin,
didn't believe it
mm-mm.
until we did like the video, which got like 10,000 likes on it. But yeah, we did the video and they were still like, how did he do that? Is that AI CGI type shit? I'm like, bro, you can't win. You can show them proof, but they still won't believe it. So I still get that to this day, which is great because it's a topic of conversation and people will always believe that he does not exist when he does or doesn't. I don't know, whatever you guys prefer.
Well, I'll
So
say this. I've seen him in flesh and blood. He does. But I remember the comments under that post was like, oh my God, he duplicated himself, or is that AI? And I was thinking like, that makes no sense that people kind of believe what they want to believe.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No, it was funny. It was funny. I normally don't take him nowhere whenever I go places. I only go by myself, but I brought him out there, and it was funny because where were we at when you had the yellow on? Where was it? It was like somewhere on the
A
east
place
side.
called the Unorthodox. It's not on the east side.
Where was it? I don't know
If
where the
you're
fuck it
from
was.
Detroit, it was right there on 7 Mile and Woodward by that abandoned church.
Oh, is that not the east side?
No, that is it considered the east side? I would say
I'm
it's.
not good with directions.
You know what? You might be right. It's like the very tip of the East Side, where across the street is the West Side.
Yeah.
But the spot is called the Unorthodox. I usually do it because it's like a black-owned, woman-owned
Yeah.
spot. It's a nonprofit,
And-
and I like the vibe. They actually shot the Dirty D series.
oh, nice. Yeah,
There.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny because I went there for the first time and it just so happened to be the last show that you guys were having. I was like, what the hell? I was getting cooked. We was getting cooked. We sat TBarb sat us in the front of the show and we were getting cooked by Shawnee, and that's how we became good friends too. He was like, bro, I ain't know that was y'all. I was just cooking y'all. I'm like, bro, it's good. Just don't let it happen again. But yeah, that was a good show. I enjoyed that. And that's when I literally started following Barb everywhere she went, every show. Cause every time you go to a show, even if it's like, the same set, it's still funny. She's adding more, more comedy to it, different variations of whatever she said is funny. It's very funny. You're like one of my favorite women comedians.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken. I mean, that means a lot. And it's interesting you say that because a lot of people don't get that with comedy. That's how comedy builds. Like you take a joke, it starts one way, and then as you do it more and more, you build, it gets better.
Mhm.
And what I like about the type of comedy that I do is that even if you've heard that joke, the order is different. It's
Yeah.
something new to it. So it still feels fresh, like the first time you ever heard it. You know?
Right,
Yeah.
right. So let's get on these big shows. How do you feel doing these big shows that you've been doing? Listen, TBarb done got a little Hollywood since going to California. She doesn't send me reels like she used to. I know she be busy, but still, like I be looking forward to. But how do you feel being on these big shows? Like going out there. I remember when you went out there and it only took not even a year for you to get on the circuit like that. You just blew up out there. And I'm like, how the hell did she jump on all these big name, shows and open up for these comedians, these famous comedians? And it's people out there that's been there for like 10, 20 years and still hasn't, been prosperous. How does that feel?
Okay, vocabulary.
Yeah.
Y'all heard that? Prosperous.
That's a mediocre word, but go ahead,
I
Barb.
mean, for some people, prosperous. I mean, it was just a great play on words. Just take the compliment.
I
Ken.
can't.
But what I will say is that I think it's a Detroit hustle that we have, being from Detroit, Metro Detroit, like
Yeah.
surrounding areas. And I went out there with that same grit and grind. And another thing about being from Detroit is that they don't give any sympathy laughs.
Mm-mm.
So just because I can go somewhere else, right? For example, and they could feel sorry for a person, and you'll hear a chuckle or you'll hear a little fake laugh, right? Just to make them feel better. Well, in Detroit, they'll be like, boo, they get the order and they DoorDash in your face. They're not. So you have to be sharp when you get out there. And then you also have to have a certain level of grind that we have. The good thing was I had been going out there for years, like the networking. People underplay networking.
Mhm.
Sometimes your friends can get you further. Sometimes alignment and having the right people around you. So I think it was just a combination for me.
Right.
Especially being at the Comedy Store. First female hosting over 20 years at Crack 'em Up at the Comedy Store.
That was good.
Which was a shout out the park. Or running into Michael Blackson, who was just at the show the other week, and him saying, hey, you want to do a weekend with me? Just being funny, being cool, knowing your role, not being thirsty. Sometimes you have to go where you're wanted. I think a lot of people go out and try and force somebody who really don't even know them or don't mess with them to hire them, instead of focusing on the people that fuck with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I kind of went out there with that. And then the talent the talent speaks for itself. And it doesn't
relax.
hurt that I'm easy on the eye. Even though I feel like that can really play against you in comedy.
Marv, we're not talking about you. Go ahead.
Whatever. That's why I gotta cuss you out in the sneaky verse again. See why you be getting cussed out, y'all? Do you see?
She don't know what she's talking about. But anyways, I remember visiting you guys I forget, a couple months ago, and I went
Mhm.
to the Comedy Store and you were hosting. The comedians went up. It was fun. It was cool. And then Dion Cole went up, killed the crowd, and then he actually killed the crowd because they left. So how do you how do you
How you were there the
continue?
night Dion Cole came through?
How do you continue from that when like literally it's only a few people left? Like, do you keep going? Like, how everybody was like defeated.
Well, I think that that's what makes you a good comedian sometimes because let's say you're in a stadium, right? It's 1,000 people. If 100 of those people laugh, it's gonna seem monstrous. But if you're in a room and it's 10 or 20 people and you have them rolling, that lets you know that you have something there. You
Yeah.
have a majority of them. To me, I take that as an opportunity to get closer with the fans. That's where you make your fan base in those moments. First, they see that you're still hilarious
Hmm.
because luckily for me, I did my main set before Dion went up.
Yeah.
And it just was one of those nights where it was late already. And of course, at Crack 'em Up, we're at the Comedy Store. We can have a lineup, but if a celebrity comes in and they want to go up, they're gonna
They
bump
gonna they
somebody. They're
gonna
gonna
bump
go up.
somebody. Yeah.
And so it could be late and they get to do extended time. So
Hmm.
now by the time they're off, I normally would have had 2 or 3 people go up and everybody's trying to get a picture with them. So they're leaving out trying to chase after them. But I think that when you could stay that night and make that crowd that really stayed there rock with you, you know you have something good. And to me, that's a great time to test new jokes.
Hmm.
You don't have to fall flat on your face in front of 100 people. Now this is the time to work on that new material you've been wanting. So I just take it that way. And I think it tightens my muscle. It makes me
Yeah.
better to be able to control any crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you what do you feel was the best show you ever had? Like your best show, you did the greatest set that you've done so far. Not like forever, but just what do you think your best set and the best show that you've done?
That's a really good question. When I think about it, it's been a couple times. I recently did a church in Inglewood called Faithful Central Baptist Church.
You couldn't cuss, huh?
No, couldn't cuss. I
Oh.
actually like clean comedy better a little bit, even though I'm a potty mouth. I cuss a lot.
Yeah.
But clean comedy, I feel like they're really in tune. They're there to really laugh,
Right.
so I love the energy that they can bring sometimes. And it was their 10th anniversary. It was me and Chris Spencer, the Chris Spencer. So it meant a lot to me to work with Chris Spencer. It was my first time working with him. Over 1,000 people, and
Yeah.
I got a standing ovation.
Oh,
So
nice.
that meant a lot to me to get that standing ovation. You know what I mean? I was like hitting the jokes that I wanted to hit for that crowd. And let me think. Another time where I feel like I really killed it. Um, it might have been one of the times I was headlining the House of Comedy. I think it
Oh
was right
yeah,
after.
Detroit House of Comedy. They love you there.
Yeah, well, it's Mic Drop now, so they
Yeah, I
changed the
know. Yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
But I've
They might
had
not
some good
love you there
nights.
though, but
I think me and G Mac Cash did a show. And I was very proud of that performance. That was one of my best performances as well. And to have G Mac, who we know has been blowing up in the scene more and more
Mhm.
on that show, was great. But normally, I'm never satisfied with my performance. I always leave thinking about what I missed or what I
What
could
could
have
have done
done.
better? I think that's what most people do. That's why you guys record, right? Like, I
Mhm.
could have said this differently. Speaking of the Detroit House of Comedy, I'd say I did a good job. I believe I did a good job. That was like my third time doing the stand up, because I had to practice first before I got up there. But I remember I was nervous when I got up there, and then I go out there. Is there like a thing how you dim the lights? Is there like a setting?
Mhm.
Okay, they dim the lights. They dim the lights, but I was able to see one person staring back at me. It was this old lady staring into my soul as I was doing my set, and it made me so nervous. But I still went out there and did my thing, and I'm like, who the fuck put this old ass lady in front like that? Turned out it was Barb's neighbor. I'm like, you can't
Doreen.
you can't be put her in the back of something. You making niggas nervous out there. That shit was oh my goodness. That was funny. But
That was like
yeah.
your first time on
That
stage,
was
though.
that was my first time on that stage in front of that crowd of people because
Yeah.
every crowd is different. Like I
Hmm.
went to the hood and did my shit. It was amazing. That's a different crowd of people
You
though.
had a 200 plus crowd that
That
night,
was
though.
nice. That was nice. I love that.
Yeah,
And I appreciate that opportunity you've given me.
always.
Which is making me go to say that I am writing like a 40-minute set now. And, I'll do, I'll obviously split it up, but I've been writing a 40-minute set so I can like my dream right now, dream/goal is to do the Fox. So I
Mm.
just told you that not too long ago, but that's what I'm focused on right now.
Well, to get to the Fox, you have to do these little armpit spots.
Hmm.
I'm reading Kevin Hart's book right now, and I really am amazed at how hard he was grinding in this book. Like he was taking any and every spot to tune himself up to be ready for those big opportunities. So I think a lot of times, like when people show up to this little hole in the wall bar, now I really don't like doing bars, but it was necessary to do those bars to learn how
Right.
to deal with that heckler, deal with that drunk person. Do you come up to a song? Do you come up, with the icebreaker? It also helps with improv. That's another thing about Detroit comedy and comedians. We're
Hmm.
good on the fly.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
people love that.
Yeah.
No matter what your jokes written, you have first off to be a comedian, you have to have jokes written, like you said. But to be able to go off the fly and be like,
That crowd work, yeah.
look at this thick neck, or
Right, right.
whatever. Look at this uncircumcised head.
Oh,
All of that, you have to be able to do that to just sharpen it
right.
sometimes. Mhm.
Yeah. So
Come on, Fox Theater.
Fox Theater, man, I'm telling you, I've been writing, I've been practicing all my jokes on him. Shout out to production guy. He was actually on time today.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I've been practicing all my jokes. I call him and I roast him, but then I'd be like, oh shit, I could put this in a joke and create, maybe 2 minutes here and 2 minutes. So I've been practicing,
And then I respond. He said, "Oh, I could take that too."
Yeah, because no one knows you. Who's gonna use your joke? Listen, guys, I don't steal jokes, but he'll help me from time to time, and we'll get a little sentence going. It's not much, but he'll
It's
help a
not
little bit.
stealing though. That's considered writing and assistance with writing. Stealing jokes would be this person said "Doo-doo-ch," and then peanut butter and jelly, and you went back up there and said, and then peanut butter and jelly. But it always helps to have an outside ear.
Right.
You know what I mean? That way, because that's how jokes get better. Even when you think about a roast or some of the biggest comedians, that's their thought and concept. But when they run it over their friend and their friend say, you know what? When you say preposterous right here, say that instead of this. And then it just makes the joke better. But it's still your material.
Yeah, preposterous. Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron.
I don't know what this nigga talking about. Hey,
It's the Pooh
hey,
Shiesty
we're
mask.
gonna have to cut your feedback to a minimum, nigga. This ain't your show, my nigga. Speaking of stealing jokes, have anyone ever stole a joke from you?
Absolutely.
Well, which one was it? She said,
It's
"I don't
been a
want to
few
say."
jokes. I have a joke about raggedy bras. I've heard people steal that. All ladies, it's a joke about how all women, basically about women being hypocritical, right? Because
Right.
they'll talk about a man's drawers, but we all have three bras. We got a black one, we have a new one, and we got one we go do it in. You know what I mean? And it's like a joke a whole bit. I've heard people do that one a couple times. I mean, I can't remember, but you can be telling a joke and somebody can go right up and they'll steal your material and try and tweak it a little
Yeah.
bit towards their own. But that's just really honestly a part of the game. People are going to steal your material. It's
Yeah.
just simple as that. That's why a lot of times when newer comedians, they're so pressed to do something new, maybe in front of a celebrity or a star, then you look up on TV and they're doing your joke. Now, that hasn't happened to me, but it's happened to people I know.
Yeah.
So that's why it's best to brand some material that they know this is your joke.
Right.
Like, remember Tommy Chun back in the day, right? Old school guy. Some people may know him, some people may not. But he used to be like, "You bitch," right? You knew that was Tommy Chun or the guy T.K. Kirkland. Who raised
Who
you?
raised you?
You know that who raised
Yeah.
you is his.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's not a bad idea to brand something and keep it as your own, because you will get your joke stolen. I mean, and it's a lot of accusations.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still stuck on this 3 bras shit, nigga. What the fuck you mean 3 bras? I got like 1,000 pair of underwear. This nigga said we only got 3 bras.
No. All women have 52,000 bras, but they only
Nah,
have
that's
3
not
of them
what
that
you
they wear.
said, nigga. That's not what you said.
I was condensing the joke for the point of the reference.
She on her 3rd day. This is the 3rd bra, nigga.
So is finna go ahead and wash it off, put it back on. That's why I only got one strap on the back. Men be thinking they doing something because they popped that bra quick. Baby, it was only one latch on there. She been wearing that bra since the 8th grade.
That's crazy. I'm still trying to figure out what set she's repping. What kind of flag is that? You
Flag on the plate.
This nigga. Anywho, what time we at? 21. All right. Again, so how do you feel working with you're gonna have to cut that out. How do you feel working with Nate Jackson? You know, as Nate Jackson's been very successful and he has his own, you know, super funny. How was that? Because I know that was an experience when I seen everybody posting about it. It was a lot of comedians there. How was that experience for you?
It was great. That was another set that I was very proud of. It was a great experience. And Nate, I feel like, is so fair. So just for reference, the show I host, Crack 'em Up at the Comedy Store, Nate was sitting in the corner to do a spot. We get a lot of celebrities. The show has been around for 22 years. Shout out to Nichelle Murdoch, who is the producer of that show. And all the celebrities come. And that's another thing people don't know. They go do these stadiums, but they build the material at the comedy store, at the bar, at the little club. So he was coming. He sat in the corner, watched me host. It was actually my first day as the permanent host or the resident host, and I'm killing it. And I didn't even know he was there. So when I see him, I'm like, oh, snap, that's Nate Jackson. And he's like, yo, you funny. Keep it up. Run into him again. Because that's one thing about LA that's a little different. Just like how you run into such and such and your old high school friends, you might run into Deion Cole, Nate Jackson. You know what I mean? Some more Zaynab. You know, you just run into
Eric
some big
Andre.
people. Right. Eric Andre was at the show that night too, with Deion Cole's show was. And so I ran into him at this spot. He's telling me, oh yeah, I like this and that. Then he's like, I'm gonna be having a showcase. I'm doing Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Jam. I want you to come showcase for it. So he hit me up that day, asked me to come. It's just a 5-minute set to show what you have. They voted for me. He flew me out to Tacoma, Washington. Nate Jackson has an amazing comedy club in Tacoma. If you're ever in Tacoma, Washington, check it out. They run it top notch. The staff is amazing. It is really a very professionally run club. And the way that he was banging it out, I was so mad I only stayed for one day because it was 3 days. You know, they taped all the episodes, like however many each day.
Yeah.
And people were hanging there like it was a sorority fraternity party. Nobody wanted to go home. That's the vibe he created. And so on my episode, it was a legend, Steve Brown, this guy named Trix, who is hilarious out of Canada.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's hilarious. And I cannot think, and it was another guy on there. He was funny as well. And the energy was so good. Like Trix got a standing ovation. Then the next guy came up. Then I came up, got a standing ovation. Then Steve Brown got a double standing ovation. But it all came from Nate's energy that he brought. He put everybody together so well. And it was legends mixed with the new comedians. So it's still interesting. He had people like Joe Dombrowski, who, you know, may have been introduced. Joe is killing it. He's from Metro Detroit, by the way. Killing it. But I'm sure that urban audience may have been a new audience. He had CP, you know, he had Just Niche. He had
everybody on it.
Everybody. Dominique. He had Tony Baker. Me and Tony rode on the same plane there. He treated us so well. You know, it was just a nice experience as a comedian to go, be paid, be flown out, have the hotel ready, have the production team ready, have the
Yeah.
makeup person ready, and it was a good experience. And that's getting ready to drop on Nate Jackson's YouTube channel, which is massive
Yeah.
in itself. And just working with him, and every time I see him, he always encouraging. He had a party after the Netflix is a joke festival, party of the year, and the year ain't even over yet.
That's crazy.
Like he had Too Short
Yeah.
singing Blow the Whistle. You know, it was just he's a great guy, and he's also very encouraging. So I appreciate him because all celebrities aren't like that. Like he'll be like, keep going, you got this. You know, he'll every once in a while throw you a good
Right.
a good word or whatever. So shout out to Nate Jackson.
Yeah. Shout out to Nate Jackson. Shout out to you. Anybody ever has told you look like Michael Trapson? You look like Michael
They always say I
Trapson.
look like Keisha Cole, but I say Keisha
You
Cole.
look like
slow.
Michael Trapson right
Who
now.
is Michael
You gonna
Trapson?
have to put the side by side.
Who is Michael Trapson? Here he go. Here he go. When that vein get to popping out his forehead, you know he on some crack.
You and this
When that
vein,
vein
bro.
get to popping out his forehead, you know he on something.
And that vein pop out, I feel like I'm what is it, Professor X?
Michael Trapson. I can't wait
Michael
to look that up.
Trapson. But speaking of since I'm heckling you, remember we were at the Redford Theater?
Oh my God, that was probably the worst show of my career. to me.
That was crazy. You still did your thing, but they wouldn't
it
let
came out on
you.
Tubi.
It did, but the audio was messed up.
The audio was messed up. So he's referring, I did this show in Detroit at the Redford Theater. Okay. The show was probably the most, and no disrespect to the promoter because she really was sweet, but it was the most ghetto show I've ever done. And I'm from the D, Joy Road to be exact. So I did a lot of ghetto stuff in my life. Okay. I'm just telling y'all for reference so y'all can know how ghetto the ghetto gets. Okay. And then we had Super Ray hosting Tattoo Man Page. So the audience is off the hook, okay? They're screaming. They're hollering, okay? I come out, they screaming, they hollering. They've been hollering at everybody. Nobody has stopped the audience from hollering. It's not even about the jokes. They're just hollering. You come out, they're hollering. They standing up with bottles of liquor. It was crazy, right? They acting like they had this Sexy Red sponsored event or something, right? And I love you, Sexy, but if you had a comedy show, this would be with no security.
Oh my goodness.
And so they started hollering at me to take my shirt off. As hell. Then they got the bottles in their hand, like, take it off. I didn't realize it was a joke from one of the male comedians that they said had boobs.
Yeah.
And they was telling him to take his shirt off, like, show your breast. So I got mad, started cussing everybody out. Told the promoter I want every dollar of my money. I remember that. And what's so funny about that show, that's why I say never doubt how you meet people. I ended up meeting a lot of producers from Fox 2. So when I did Fox 2 this week, he was in the audience, him and his sister. They were so upset about it because I had a lot of fans and people, we love you, TBarb. I'm like, I can't tell. And usually I don't lose my cool. Usually I'll roast the audience. The bottles threw me off. I didn't want to roast anybody, and then they throw a bottle on the stage. That's all I kept thinking about. Because how did y'all even get in the theater with a fifth of Grey Goose?
Because nobody checked
That
them.
let me know somebody had a gun. So I was good. If you can get a fifth of Grey Goose in there, you definitely got that thing with you.
That was crazy. That was a funny show, but I was upset for you because I'm like, damn, they ain't gonna let her finish her set, and I could see the just the anguish and the anger in your eyes, and I could hear it in your voice. You tried to be professional as best as you can, and it was like, damn, I feel bad for Barb.
And what happened too, and this sometimes is where being professional goes wrong. I knew it was a recording because I was like, oh, I should roast them. But then I'm like, this lady is trying. She paid us good money to be able to put it on the platform. So it's like, and Josh just came out. Shout out to Josh Adams. He just came out roasting. He didn't care. He was like, you stupid, boop, boop, boop. And that's kind of what they wanted. But I felt like they were being disrespectful to the plight. And like when it's a TV set, I come out and do a TV set.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a clean set, whatever instructions the person who give me their moolah, their money, I try to stick with that. And that was a time where I felt like it backfired. I really should have roasted the hell out
You
of him.
should have roasted
Because I
them.
definitely
That's what they
got
wanted.
it in me.
That's what they wanted.
But it would have been good for her
Right.
what she was filming. But it really was on her because you should have a controlled crowd in those instances
Right.
that is sitting down. They got too drunk. It was crazy.
Nah, it just sound like you complaining. But
I am.
anyways, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We're at 30 minutes here, right? Yeah. So can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Well, you can find me sometimes in the SneakyVerse.
Yeah.
When I'm not in the SneakyVerse, I'm on Instagram. It's TBarb. That's IMTBARB. Also, I have a website, which is TBarbisfunny.com. It'll let you know where I'm going to be all across the country. Look out for me on Comic View Summer Series, which is dropping June 30th and after, so you'll be able to see that. Like he said earlier, Nate Jackson's super funny. Also, I just did my first dramatic acting role in The Stranger in Our House Season 2 on Tubi. It's been most popular for a while. I'm playing Captain Barber on that. And the podcast, Not What I Ordered podcast.
Yes.
You can see me all over, but it's usually comedian TBarb. Yeah.
Yeah, you can also find her at TBarbneedstostopactinghollywood.com. No, just kidding.
What's wrong with him? What like I don't know what's wrong with you. He already get me cussed out about the skits.
They do be roasted. They
They
be
be
cooking.
coming
And
for
I be
my
seeing her
ass.
comment. I be like, shit, I don't give a fuck.
Sometimes I
T-Barb got it. She'll come. She be like, it's a skit. I'm like, you ain't even got
They
to
be
say
taking
that.
everything he say for word.
I don't know why they do that. They take everything. I dropped one video and they're like, has anyone alerted CPS? I'm like, bro, do you not know that this is the transition from a child to an actual dummy doll? I'm not hurting my child.
Right.
Like,
And you're actually a great dad.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I ain't trying to blow up your spot because I know on here you trying to be, but you really are. Like, we've been kicking it with the kids and stuff and going to festivals. Do you know all the rads with his daughter? All the rads, all the junk.
Thank you.
So I just want to put that out there in case people don't understand. Sometimes it's art, you know. Not to say that we might not have some of those views, but it's to entertain. So don't take it so personal.
That's crazy. You ain't even have to say all that. Anyways, thanks for watching.
Well, he a horrible daddy. Okay.
Now
he don't even love his daughter. I mean, if that's what you want.
Now she's just lying. You know, you ain't off the hook, nigga. You act like this camera ain't turned off, nigga. I see it. Nah, nigga, we gonna have to talk to your ass after this.
He over there in hiding.
This nigga, flip the camera. Explain how this camera turned off.
Listen,
we got 3 cameras and they all got the charger plugged into them.
How
the
got the
fuck did it
shiesty
turn
on
off,
in
nigga?
in the house though? We at the crib, you got the mask on.
I don't know.
We can see your eyeballs. People who know you know them your eyeballs.
Exactly. We gonna have to ask Jehovah what the fuck is going on, nigga.
That's crazy.
That's all you had to say.
I'm gonna say that.
This is all right. This nigga, this nigga stuttering and shit. Nigga, know what you about to say before you turn that bitch on. Anyways, thanks for watching, and you know where you at right now? SneakyVerse.
You have now entered the SneakyVerse.
All right.